Hello and welcome back to Commoner's Craft. In this video I'm going to show you how to make a battering ram with cheap and easily available materials. I was inspired to make this after I made my 3-part series where I made a castle from cardboard and trash, so make sure to check those videos out as well. Without further ado, let's start crafting. The base of the construction was made from bamboo skewers, but not round ones. I used the rectangular type. Every part was weathered with a knife to give it more of a hand-hewn lumber look. For the battering ram itself, I decided to use this bull figure I found for 50 cents in a cheap store as the head and a stick I found outside. I just cut off the head, weather the stick in the same way as the bamboo skewers, and then attach it with hot glue. Doing it like this is an easy way to make this build a little more special. To glue the frame, I lay down some baking paper and attach the wooden beams to each other with PVA glue. This prevents the piece from sticking to your work surface. I then drilled some holes with my knife in the sides of the battering ram and glued toothpicks inside to function as handles. After the 2 frames I made were dry and secure, I taped them standing up and glued the rest of the beams in place. I cut the upper beams in an angle to make attaching a roof easier. To get some perfect circles, I used the lid of a paint bottle to draw out 6 of them on a piece of double corrugated cardboard. Then I attached some coffee store sticks on one side. Don't bother with the other one because you won't see it. While that is drying, I started preparing a way to attach a chain to hold the battering ram. I drilled some more holes with my knife and then superglued pieces of paperclip inside to function as hooks. And once that's dry and secure, I can glue the chains holding the battering ram in place. This is a little bit finicky, but after some trial and error it hangs perfectly. I only glued it where the chain connects to the ram itself and to the frame so it can still move around. And now it looks like this. Really nice. The roof was made with some cardstock folded in half and reinforced in the back with some leftover parts from the skewers. I wanted it to look like it was covered in animal skins, so I used a thicker paper bag ripped into small pieces and then laid them over each other and glued them in place. In the end I wish I used thicker paper, but ah well, lessons for the future. Just make sure to use very watered down PVA glue to cover up the paper as to not clog up too much detail. Now it's going to be quite wet, so I leave it to dry before continuing to build onto it. The wheels should be dry now, and after trimming the sticks, I glue some strips of cardstock on the edges where you can see the corrugation. It's probably easier to do this with hot glue, but I prefer to use some PVA glue and super glue on the edges. To add some more details, I first glued some circles in the middle of the wheels. And after that I added small gems as sort of a rivet in the middle, just like this. I glued the wheels in place by first putting the frame a little higher to hold it in place while the glue was drying. And when the roof is dry, I add some cardstock strips on the top and sides like metal trimming. I then used even more but smaller gems this time to function as rivets as well. The way I glue them is I add a little bit of PVA glue on the piece, use my knife to pick up the gem and then glue it in place. After spray priming with black, the first part I painted was the roof. 2 thin coats should do it. Then I painted all the wooden parts with a dark brown. 1 coat should be fine, it doesn't need to be perfect coverage. I wanted the skins on the roof to have different colors, so I used the yellow brown and orange brown, and I picked some random skins to break up the flat brown look. Just make sure you use 2 tint coats for this, otherwise you'll get a splotchy look. When the dark brown is all dry, I then use a beige color to dry brush it completely. Now you can see it was definitely worth it to spend some extra time weathering all the pieces of wood. To paint the metal, I used a mix of Leadbelcher and black to give a darker metal look. I used this in the previous castle videos and I really liked the results, so I'm going to keep using this. When that's dry, I washed it with a black wash and I used Nuln oil from Games Workshop. All the wood and the roof was then washed with mid brown from Army Painter. Just make sure not to use too much on the roof or else you'll get some stains. To give the metal a highlight, I then used Leadbelcher and dry brushed it on all the metal parts. This is the look I'm going for the roof, a kinda scratched, worn leather look, and to be honest I really don't like how it turned out. But if you have some ideas how to paint a roof like this, then drop a comment below and tell me how you would do it. And then as a final last step, I used some super glue to glue the roof in place. And now it's all done. A very cool battering ram to use in your siege scenarios in Wargaming or tabletop RPGs. I think the bull's head adds some much needed character to a quite basic build. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to watch my older ones and get notified when I upload a new one. Until next time, take care.